Okay, creating market profit centers. Market profit centers, what that means is areas where Berrett Koehler has a particular competency or a particular advantage or some resource that we can leverage to make more money in other ways besides our publishing agendas. So we're going to talk about, and so the question that came from the group was, I think Berrett Koehler's future includes an expansion beyond publishing. What might that be? Well, funny you should ask. One thing that we're doing is we're world class in terms of selling subsidiary rights. We've done almost 900 foreign language rights deals, 19 foreign language rights deals, and over 2,100 subsidiary rights. And so we're selling subsidiary rights for ASTD, Viva Editions, a planning shop. That's an area of expertise we have. Jenny talked about the Berrett Koehler, ASTD Berrett Koehler Leaders Alliance. In your folders, there's a flyer that tells more about this and more about the first two events that are coming up. We hope that you will consider coming to one of those first two events. There's information about how to register on the flyer that's in your folder. What these are doing are more advanced learning than is often done in workshops and seminars and conferences, and much more peer-to-peer and much more interactive, kind of in the spirit of Berrett Koehler, and more blended, bringing in online, virtual with in-person. So therefore leaders and their emphasis on immediate application. 2 pilot workshops, here they are. I hope you'll come to one of them. Again, this information is in your folder. Does Berrett Koehler have any plans for helping promising authors self-publish if they have a promising topic that doesn't fit BK and want to assume the risk? I did not plant this question. This is one of the questions, and in fact we do. We're involved right now in developing in partnership with Author Solutions, which is the leading assisted self-publishing company in the country. You'll be hearing more about this. We're actually talking about a board of directors meeting this afternoon. If it gets a go-ahead in the board of directors meeting, and it's already gotten a go-ahead from the Berrett Koehler staff, you'll be hearing a lot more about this. But basically, it allows authors to self-publish with a lot of assistance from Author Solutions, some assistance from Berrett Koehler in some different ways. And then Berrett Koehler gets some compensation from that. It'll be a revenue source for Berrett Koehler as well. We have, just to go back to that point, we have over 1,500 book projects that are presented to Berrett Koehler each year. We're only able to publish 30 to 40 books every year, and a lot of those 1,500, some of them don't really fit, but maybe half of those 1,500 are ones that could conceivably fit, but we just don't have the resources. Maybe they're too specialized. Maybe the author needs more marketing abilities. But they could fit in the self-publishing. Berrett Koehler is now exploring partnering on starting a speakers bureau with Martha Flynn, who's the founder and president for the last 10 years of Total Access Speakers Bureau, who wants to create a speakers bureau that's focused more on socially responsible business, sustainability, environmental responsibility, progressive leadership and management, community building, diversity, economic and social justice, living a more meaningful and purposeful life. There is no speakers bureau currently that focuses in those areas. We're developing a partnership with her that, again, will receive a cut of the revenues and compensation for that. This is just in the early proposal stage. It's not a decision yet, but it's looking fairly promising. And we're doing some other means through other market profit centers. David talked about the online self-directed training using BK book content, webinars. He talked about media-rich interactive versions of books, lots of other areas. So it's an open area, but we've got a lot going on. So now I'm going to transition to preserving our mission, our values, and our independence. I want to thank many of you for participating in the survey. We also did a survey 2.5 years ago. Interestingly, not surprisingly, the two surveys had very similar responses. What our shareholders thought, what their priorities are. The one 2 years ago had a little bigger response rate because it was the only thing we sent on the agenda. This time there was a bunch of things, so maybe we threw too much at shareholders. But we had a lot of response on both of them. So how would you rank the following priorities for the future of Berrett Koehler? That was the question. How would you rank them? We would force people to rank order the priorities. Okay, so what came in first? With 80% of the respondents ranked stay steadfast in being guided by Berrett Koehler's mission. And the survey we just did, either as top priority or next priority. As the number one or number two priorities. And 71% rated staying true to Berrett Koehler values of stewardship, partnership, openness, and collaboration. Again, the results of these surveys are in your folder, so you've got all of this in it. So those two, far more than everything else. That's what our shareholders most want, is for us to stay true. Which I should be reading up here. It's easier than reading down here. And then kind of in the middle was maximize effectiveness in publishing and selling publication. Coming in at the end was maximizing financial return on investment to shareholders. Only 6% ranked that as number one or number two. This time around 7% the time before. Pretty unusual for a group of shareholders to have that preference. It's just kind of overwhelming what you've told us our priorities should be. Now, that is not to say, though, that the others, we also have to pay attention to all these other things. Everything here matters. It's not that we can just disregard the others. We have to be concerned about all of them, but the number one and number two priorities are very clear there. How important is it to you that Berrett Koehler remains an independent company, not owned by another company? Again, very important. 63% said it was very important. This time around, previous survey, 58% said it was very important. Almost no one said it was very unimportant. A lot of other people, most people either said very important or somewhat important. Just to give a feel for some of the responses about that, why it's very important. These are again your comments. Having sold my publishing company to a professional marketing group and seen what happened to their profits and the authors I was trying to protect, I prefer to trust in the integrity of the founders and staff of Berrett Koehler. One comment. Another comment. I think independence is what will allow BK to continue to pursue its publishing agenda successfully. Another comment. BK's mission is unique and valuable. BK operates its business in a manner consistent with its mission. I don't know of any larger company that would allow BK to stay true to its mission if it owned BK. So many publishers have been bought by larger companies with so little apparent gain. 1 + 1 always seems to be something less than 2, often less than 1. Another shareholder said it's unlikely that BK's distinctive mission values would persist if BK merged with another company. Another comment. Buyouts often destroy the culture of the acquired company. Values are often not aligned or even included in the overall assessment of economies of scale and projected merger efficiencies. And I've seen a lot of mergers and acquisitions, so this is not unfounded doom and gloom. Another comment. After about a year, the result of a merger would likely result in the loss of what makes BK unique and less willing to take risks on new ideas. There were, however, views the other side that were encouraging us to pursue maximum return on investment, that we should pursue selling the company. At this, the company's commitment or the company's focus is trying to remain independent. There's no guarantee of that, but that is the company's current focus.